The following is a paid program sponsored by Get Elevated. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you hear do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.
Please note that while we will cover a multitude of topics, including many alleged health benefits, all information provided should be considered anecdotal and informational. Please consult with your physician before adding cannabis to your medical regimen. Cannabis is for adults 21 years of age and older. Also, paid sponsorships are not to be misconstrued as preferred or favored by the host. In any way, they are merely that, paid sponsorships. Good morning and happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of Get Elevated with Gia. Gia, G Money. I like to sing my own jingles. I am in the studio with Ray Fletcher, our producer. Hi, Ray. And very special guest, dear friend of mine and colleague. This is Davin Homan with Ether Gardens.
How you doing, Gia? I'm blessed
Good.
to be a part of this. And no, thank you. That was a wonderful intro.
I thank you. I think you're probably happy I finally pronounced your name right.
Absolutely.
You know, something I love about myself is I tend to do that a lot. Like I get a name wrong, but I'm so confident in my wrongness that it makes it right. Like, don't you think Davin is a cool name?
It's beautiful. My mom.
Right, but Davin.
Davin's also, look,
That's
it's a
what
pronunciation.
I know,
I'm
right?
Hispanic, so a lot of people say Davin, and I don't get upset, but it originates from my mom's name is Daisy, and my grandfather's is Irvin. So they use kind of Davin.
That's what it is. I like that because I was wondering, why am I insistent on doing it wrong? And I think it's because I think I had an ethnicity with you where Davin was, so hopefully you weren't offended by any of that.
No.
Okay. So the purpose of the show, for those of you listening, is global access, awareness, and education of this dear, sweet, sacred plant we call cannabis. So if you're a new listener, thank you for joining us today. We will make you laugh. I'd love to somebody draw some tears, like really get to the emotion. We're getting there, but I promise to make you laugh. You will leave here feeling elevated. All right, Dave, and that's your goal. Something you have to say, something you say has to make people feel elevated. Can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
There is no pressure. 3, 2, 1, go. No, I'm kidding.
I'll jump right in. I got something right now.
What do you got? Let's bring it.
Just kind of jump in how I got into this industry of cannabis. I was in high school. I was living at the house at the time and about to go to college. And my grandmother actually had a tumor.
Daisy. Grandmother Daisy.
No, grandmother on my dad's side.
Got it.
Freddy.
What is her name?
Freddy's Vinda. We call her Freddy. Grandma Freddy.
Oh my God, that's
God
so
rest her
awesome.
soul.
Okay.
She ended up having a tumor metastasized and at the house. Such a shock to the family. We didn't know anything was wrong with her.
Oh.
Kind of flash forward a little bit, and she had cancer and had to go through chemotherapy.
Wow.
And then,
Can I just say, you came in hot with this intro.
Hey.
Like, wow. We are right at the talking about Grandma Freddy.
No, it is,
Wow.
and it's important because from there, part of her rehab was using Marinol, which is a synthetic THC, man-made, and it's isolated. So all you're getting is that psychoactive THCA compound. None of the kind of entourage effect or total body wellness. So she kind of had episodes there in the hospital, helped her eat a little bit, but that always stuck in me. And my father didn't tell me about this until maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I had no idea she had taken Marinol, or even I didn't even really know about Marinol 4 or 5 years ago. So that's kind of what drew me here.
Wow.
And hopefully that doesn't tear anybody up right away.
No,
But
I think it's beautiful. And thank you. No, but I love when people come on this story in the show and I don't know their story. And I kind of like it to be a secret because then I kind of unpeel it and discover it as the listeners are. And that's really cool. That's a medical miracle that, brought you here.
Yeah, and it's my passion to just educate and share this wellness and everything I understand about the plant.
Okay. Well, so we're starting off. We're already elevated. And we know there's some, and rest in peace, Grandma. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today, though, really, we've had a theme to the last several episodes. A lot of the community has come together and they're embracing the show and they're like, I want to be on. And I love it because, let's continue to get to know each other, support each other, lift each other up. And David and I, we both work in the wholesale business. And so before we get to all that, because what the readers, in case you're reading this,
listeners.
What the listeners will take away, my goal is always that they're going to feel inspired, elevated, truly, just a little happier. Maybe if we make them laugh, I'm okay with that. If you learn something or if you're inspired by your story. So those are what I'm really hoping to achieve with this amazing list of randomized questions that I created for you. But I'd always love to know, what was your first smoking experience? When did that start? What brought you to this plant?
No, fantastic question. Mom, Dad, if you're listening, please forgive me.
Mine too. I'm over it. Yeah.
No, they're supporting now. But if I can remember correctly, to be honest with you, I was about 15 and a half, maybe 16 at the time. I just hurt my ankle in playing baseball, and I didn't think I was going to play the next couple games. So I was like, you know what? Screw this. My ankle hurts really bad.
Sure.
And the guys on the baseball team were like, hey, why don't you skip, third period? Let's go to the beach. And I'm like, well, I don't got anything else to do. I'm not playing in today's game.
Yeah, got it.
And we ended up, and it's such a weird story, but in a porta potty, like smoking a bowl for the first time. And I had no idea what this was.
Which bowl did you smoke?
I don't even know what strain it was at the time. And, obviously I don't promote any underage consumption for adult use or medical. But at the same time, it was something that I tried and my pain went away.
Of course,
so I ended up being able to play the next day, and I was like, "Man, this is a miracle."
There was nowhere else. Hold up, let's rewind. There was nowhere else y'all could think of than some stinky. By the way, I used to call them porna potties. Up until like 3 years ago, my son was like, Mom, stop calling it a porna potty. I didn't.
They are a little sketch.
I don't know why I called it that. But so what? Whose idea was that? Like, hey guys, let's take 5 of us and go in this. And ingest fumes
it was only 2, but
okay. Well, my story's way better. So
we're 5 people, 1 porta potty. Yeah. It was honestly just something that happened. I came across it. They were a little older, and it's you just want to fit in at that point, and you said, what the heck? Okay. But during high school and college, it wasn't a really big part of my life because I just didn't have access to it and really the money to buy it.
But the first time though, you said your pain went away, and that's not a small thing.
I never forgot that, and it's always helped with pain management, anxiety, kind of relaxation, and just overall to reconnect.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so then you didn't have any money to buy anything on the street. You were just, so when was the next time? You just
you're like, that's
casually,
cool. Every now and then when it presented itself, kind of in moderation. Again, I didn't, I was living at home with the parents, so you can't really come home and have with the red eyes, and you don't really know how to mask it at that point.
There's no way. And the smell, you think you don't smell, you smell. You totally smell. Yeah.
So they might have knew.
No, I'm sure they did. Right now they're smoking a J going, we knew.
No, I actually got them on CBD finally to look at, one compound at a time. And,
start small.
Yeah, exactly. So I think my mom's tried the gummies. She's like, hey, Davin, what do you think about this vape? And I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, try it. My dad's still very old school conservative. So that's one of those where I don't know when that line will be crossed.
Yeah, I get it. I deal with the same thing. Yeah. Although I did get my stepfather on a tincture, through a person I interviewed here is a cannabinoid specialist. And so he has Parkinson's, so he takes it now. And my mother said, quote, he's like the man I used to know. That's a really big deal, right? That's why
It's impressive.
Yeah. Okay, so that's not super fun story. I think you had another one of you in cannabis. Did she bump you around a little bit? Did she turn you upside down?
Yeah, I mean,
did she make you think you're dying a couple times?
Yeah, I mean,
I bring it
pretty much every time. I've been blessed to be able to smoke with a lot of really interesting people.
Oh,
Snoop Dogg.
Okay, breaks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. Actually, that's one of the questions on these randomized questions. But how did you stumble upon smoking with Snoop Dogg?
So that was we were supporting a dispensary marketing opportunity.
Okay.
Where he was doing a signing, a visit.
How long ago was this?
This was right when I started, so it was probably my first or second week, and I was like, okay, that's how you started.
Wow. And, so how did you smoke with him in the room? Did you smoke next to him? Did you share something? What level?
No, we were passing blunts at that time. This is back in 2018, and and I got a chance to meet him a little bit before and meet his manager,
Percy. What did you call him? Do you call him Snoop?
No, you call him Snoop.
Mr. Dog.
You call him Snoop. No, I thought about that twice. I was Googling his real name. I'm like,
what is his real name?
I don't remember.
Does he have a real name? Or maybe it's Snoop.
Probably Snoop just now.
Wow. Yeah. I was wondering if I met him, what up, Snoop? Or would he be offended if I didn't say Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, no,
Mr.
probably.
Dog. Yeah.
I mean, besides him, no. The other.
Well, let's get back. Did you have casual banter? Come on, man, give me something.
Something juicy.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a whole lot. He had a lot of handlers, to be honest with you. It was just nice to be able to.
He had a lot of handlers?
Yeah, there was a manager, security, 2 other guys. So even just being able to pass it to him, and I was this is awesome.
That is awesome.
So just hearing him
I'd have taken a
talk.
selfie with my hand, just passing it in that direction, if I couldn't get close. Yeah.
Now for a quick word from our sponsors. From the chief lobbyist of Matos Consulting, Jay is spearheading a new bill for consumption lounges. Jay is passionate about alternative places to consume cannabis, so our city and the Strip can remain family-friendly.
Okay, Well, let's continue this path of cool people that you've smoked with since you teed that up.
Yeah, that was early on in my career in cannabis, and the best overall was MJ BizCon 2019. I was at the Golden Ticket Party over there at the Hotel Serene.
Okay.
You know where that's at? Right by
I don't.
it's right by the Hard Rock.
Got
it's
it.
Right
I
here in
do.
Vegas.
Now I do.
So we show up, and first of all, I meet, God rest his soul too, but Frenchie Cannoli was the first guy I met.
I do not know Frenchie Cannoli.
He's a master Hashishin legend in the industry.
Really?
And he ended up, unfortunately, passing away 2 days ago from complications with
Just
surgery.
2 days ago now?
Yeah, this is...
What's his name again?
Frenchie Cannoli. He's, master Hashishin, kind of
Never
known,
heard that.
somewhat loosely known as the godfather of hash.
Wait a minute. Was he out of Cali?
He's everywhere, really.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he studied in Afghanistan.
Someone was just talking to me about someone, a master. I don't know if it's the same, but okay. Wow.
Yeah, so met him.
Goodness.
I walk in, end up seeing Steve D'Angelo, which he was the first book I ever read on cannabis.
Me
was,
too.
Was
the Cannabis Manifest or the
Cannabis Manifesto.
I listened to
exactly.
it on audio. Yeah.
So read that like right before the interview process. So I was looking at this man as this is also the godfather of overall cannabis and really a pioneer and a steward. Also part of the Last Prisoner Project. And he's by the pool and he's doing a fireside talk. And I'm the first one to kind of congregate. I'm with one of my coworkers at the time. I'm like, no matter what, I'm not moving.
I love
In
that.
comes this Jamaican man who's also a very like well-known figure in cannabis and activist. I forget his name.
Is he from the
I think he's
St.
from
Thomas?
Jamaica itself. And
his name is his name is not Promise, but it's an unusual.
Yeah, I think so. If I saw a picture,
Totally.
look, put it this way: I actually Googled him forever, and there was
I
only
have a phone
one
right
photo. And it makes sense because in Jamaica, cannabis laws are still.
I don't
not,
even know if it's a mayor. I feel like that's an ignorant thing to say, but his name is like Promise or something. And I actually met him years ago. It's not Promise, but
It's something. Well, I'm going to promise to remember that.
Okay.
So
Note to self.
I show up and Steve D'Angelo is talking, and this man comes over with the Jamaican coconut chalice bubbler. Okay, so imagine a coconut that's been hollowed out with a couple like stems coming out.
Talk to me nice.
And this guy's like, hey, there's four pieces. It only works if you're all like you're plugging and inhaling. So think about like a hookah almost, a mobile hookah.
I love it.
But it's authentic, like he made it. So then I'm smoking with these guys, and I put my lips to it. Steve D'Angelo's right here. I'm like, this is awesome. And remember, I'm a new guy in this space.
David,
so
that's such a big deal.
Yeah, no, it was great. And the reason I bring it up too, it really ties full circle. So during the pandemic, I was like, man, I got to put myself to work. I got to start studying, doing all this stuff. And I ended up applying to be a Ganjier, which is the first ever kind
It's on my list as well.
Yeah, so it's the first ever cannabis sommelier kind of program.
Ganjiers, isn't it?
Ganjiers, yes.
Yeah.
And Frenchie Cannoli was course instructor. So was a lot of the Soil King and a lot of really well-known people.
Yeah.
And anyways, so I got in one of 159 people globally on the first kind of round.
Okay.
And I'm in the middle of it right now, and my in-person exam and study is in
I'm so impressed
September.
with you right now.
No, it's so fun, but it's full circle. At the time smoking out of the chalice, it was an experience I want to never forget.
Wow.
And then the opportunity arose to study under him and under the rest of the people I was talking to. I'm like, absolutely.
Wow. So tell us about this program because it's on my radar as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really humbles me. It makes me want to wishes I would have spent more time studying biology and chemistry and photoscience, all that type of stuff growing up. Because if you saw Gia right now, as I'm talking, her chair is sinking. I don't think this is lighthearted enough.
It's getting smaller.
Yeah,
it's not getting bigger.
She's like, this story is
What's
getting
happening?
boring.
No, I'm out as my way of Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm back. Thank you. Back to our regularly scheduled. I'm with you though. Please continue.
It's amazing. So you go
Humbling.
through every aspect of the plant, of the industry, of the process, of the culture. And specifically the appellations of origin when it comes to cannabis. So like I'm living it, learning it, and like practicing it all in the same.
Can you help me get in?
Yeah, you could put me as a reference. Obviously, I haven't gotten my certificate
but you're
yet,
close.
so
You're
I'm in
route.
training.
You're en route. If you made it in, then I'll make it in because you made it in.
You got to write an application. No,
really?
It was 5 questions, but I
totally got
part
this.
of my story was I put the experience of meeting these men and women
you
at the event. So
you
I told them it was like the World Series for me because what's better? Like living in Vegas now for going on 7 years, I've met just about everybody. All the DJs, all the things.
G Money. Have you met G Money?
What, G Money or G Easy?
G Money. No, I'm G Money.
Oh, G Money. You are G Money. G Money. Damn, you got me on that
David,
one.
we got to get you a nickname. Do you have one?
Not really. D. I mean, a lot of people call me D, just for short,
G.
but that's boring.
Mr. It's so
No,
boring.
I really don't have one.
Davin? Do you want to be Davin? No.
Davin.
Still,
I have all three
still,
egos.
not...
Yeah, I do.
Do they have names?
Yeah, not for that. We won't say it on there, though.
Another show altogether.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay, I want to bounce around here a little bit because that's what I do. So let's get back to the Gangios program. Yes. How long is it? Why would one want to be in it? And essentially, like, what do you like? And so what? And I think I know the answer to all those, but like,
yeah. So what is just being able? Honestly, is being able to share the beauty across any kind of education base of the plant. So whether I'm talking to an extractor or another cultivator, or somebody that works at a lab, like I understand how products are tested and what goes into the nutrients to grow said flower and how you extract through what type of solvents or not solvents. So really studying kind of every aspect of the industry.
I love that.
It's about 15 modules. In each module, there's like 10 to 15
And you do
chapters.
This on your own time?
Do it on your own time. And then from what I remember, there's 2 in-person sessions, one as just a session and one as an exam.
Okay.
So that's coming up towards the end of the year. And
one exam for the whole time? There's obviously tests along the way.
Yeah. Every module has a quiz. So
okay. How can you maybe not pass? You'd have to like just...
you can't move on unless you get 100% on the quizzes. So you got to continue on and you really, really understand what you're doing. But, taking pretty detailed notes. And obviously, remember, I'm working and living this industry too. So it's a little easier for people like us because you see it, you're part of it.
I'm signing up tomorrow.
We'll look into it. I think they're taking the next class sometime in the next couple of months. We'll start to look at people. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you're studious and you really want to keep growing in this cannabis career. But let's go back to how did you get here with Aether Gardens? Is it Aether Gardens, right?
Aether, yeah. Aether is the elevated sky where the gods reside. Kind of like that transcendental air.
This is Nicholas McLean's work, isn't it?
Some of it.
Side note, can I wax poetic about how much I love your boss?
So he's definitely a great mentor.
I guess I don't know about all that, but we did the Lemon Haze golf tournament, and I didn't have anybody to golf with. I wasn't signed up with anyone. And because of just some transition I was going through. And so they said, well, you're in, this cart. And I walk up and I see this tall, skinny guy with his hair coming out of his hat and he's in neon. And I'm like, this is going to be a good day. Like he just looks so like energetic. And then, so he was my golf partner for the whole 18 holes. And we had the best time. That was my first time meeting him, getting to know him. We had so much fun. And we played good golf, and most importantly, he had a belt that held my outfit together, so I will love him forever.
Yes.
But no, I mean, I just love. We have so many great people in this industry, and I was going to interview him as well. He's like, no, Davin will do it.
No, shout out Nicholas.
Shout out Nicholas. Yeah,
great golfer. He just used to be a professional racer.
Yeah,
motorcycle racing.
He's got a lot of intensity and a lot of he's just awesome. But I also see how he's surrounded himself with people like yourself, and you have such a great reputation in the industry. So it's great to have you.
Yeah, no, it's not just me too. I mean, there's a lot of people at the company, kind of experts in their field. Like our compliance director, she's got a legal degree, and everybody kind of like either work themselves
the right people.
up. Yeah, the right people around them. It's a solid team, young, hungry, and driven, and we're super data driven. So everything's just numbers.
Okay, so what was your career beginnings?
Oh, so career beginnings. How far back are we going?
Well, I mean, it's only a 30-minute show, but
we'll keep it short.
Hey, let's keep it interesting. It's not so much if you have a long story, but it's epic. I want it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty epic. So this is one of those where you never know 5 to 10 years from now where you'll end up. This is
correct.
This is my story.
Couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, I would have never. Honestly, probably wouldn't have been on my top 50 industries 10 years ago.
Okay.
Even though I had consumed it, it wasn't really even part of my plan. So I originally went to college at UCF in Orlando, studied marketing. So I always knew I wanted to practice like business. Mm-hmm. My grandfather was a super entrepreneur. He used to own a bank and all these businesses, jewelry stores. So he was really like about it. So I graduated marketing and I was like, man, I don't have a job. Let me figure out what to do. So I moved down to South Florida to manage a nightclub as a general manager, but I'm 22 years old and I don't really know how to do that job.
Okay. Yeah. How did you get that job?
I was bartending at that same business in Orlando first and assistant managing. And there was a job open at their new location and they were having trouble finding people. And I'm looking around the room. I'm like, I have a degree. I guess this is what I'm supposed to do, right? Raised my hand, literally, guys, I'll do it. I'll move down. They're like, for real? Got it. And they checked me on it. So I just literally packed up my bags and moved down 4 hours down south and managed this nightclub for 4 or 5 months and learned a lot. Didn't know half the stuff I was doing, scheduling, training, staffing.
Hey, here's a clue. Nobody does.
Never do. And 5 months in, the owners went a separate direction, sold a share of their business. They brought in their own management, and I'm found without a job and no money. And
how long were you there?
About 5 months.
Oh, just 5 months.
Yeah, 5 months.
Okay.
But in that time, we almost broke even because it's the nightclub industry, and 10x markups on everything.
Sure.
So after that, I was like, man, I need to put my degree to work.
Sure.
And I joined the New York Life Insurance Company and became a financial advisor. Exactly how I felt. I lasted 3 years, which was pretty sweet.
Wow.
And it really taught me how to not only sell, but like meet with people and understand people.
We all have to start
traveling
somewhere,
through the whole state of Florida, trying to make it work, bootstrapping it. And I wasn't having fun. So on my birthday, I quit. And I said, I'm going to do whatever life throws me next.
Did you quit on your birthday intentionally? You were like,
no, yeah, it was my birthday.
Epiphanies and
yeah, it was my 24th birthday. And I'm like, hey, I'm out. And loved it. Gave my whole book of business to my friend's mom, who was in the business. I'm like, here you go, take it. I didn't even want residuals because look, I didn't want to deal with because it wasn't my industry, it wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
And from there, this is where it gets more exciting. So from there, my buddy's like, hey, you're not doing anything. Go to this casting call. I think you're going to be perfect on this show. So I ended up showing up in Miami to a casting call for it was a dating show.
Of course,
and
it was.
And I ended up filming a couple episodes.
Davin right now? Should we?
No.
Okay.
Keep it radio
He's
only.
Handsome. Oh. Well, what do you think I was gonna say? Just very handsome.
Thank you.
Very handsome.
Thank you.
Beard. Thicker than a Clooney. Hold on, I'm a full head of dark brown, nice eyebrows, dark brown eyes, wearing black. It's all working. It's working, man. I just want to give the listeners a visual.
All right.
Since we're talking about a dating show, they should know.
Yeah.
Please continue.
That didn't work out, of course, but it was
obviously. But you were actually going to try to meet someone. Is that it was?
It wasn't. No, it was an opportunity. I was like, wait, you're going to fly me to L.A. to film in Culver City at the Fox Studios? I'm down.
Yeah, for almost anything.
George Lopez was the host. Remember, I don't have a job. I'm saying at that point, remember, full send. I didn't really know where my future was going to hold.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was doing promotions on the side, just trying to make ends meet, working at Albertsons, promoting that Smirnoff alcohol, that tequila Don Julio, just like trying to make $20.
Yeah.
And a girl that was a Kettle One brand ambassador for Florida, Kentucky, and Indiana, she's like, hey, you'd be perfect for a tequila roll. And I was like, sign me up because I don't have much going on.
I love your adventurous, yes.
And so anyway, flash forward, got a job there and managed those 3 territories from a marketing standpoint. And I did that for about 3.5 years. Mm-hmm. And Patron kind of got wind of everything I was doing. And I ended up getting moved out to Vegas to work out of the U.S. headquarters and managed Nevada and Hawaii. So I was traveling to Hawaii every 8 weeks.
Were you 25 at this point? It feels like you're living a lot of life in a short amount of time.
I was about 26. Okay. Or no, excuse me, 27 at the time. I moved to Vegas.
Okay.
And I was, managing all accounts, so on and off premise. Yeah, from your Walmarts to your, Hakkasan groups, your MGM, Four Seasons. So you name it. Tequila, almost 9 years. And
do you love to drink tequila?
No, not anymore. It was something that's a big piece of it. There was a little bit too much consumption, and then going back to kind of, the wellness angle that I am now. It's it wasn't my lifestyle I needed.
I understand.
Okay. So no, great, and I ended up letting go of the career after 4.5 years with Patron, and Bacardi bought Patron for $5 billion, and I'm over here with Patron. I'm like, wait a second. I think they're going to gobble up my role. I think they're going to merge it in. Eventually they did about a year later. So right when that transaction happened, I, kind of left up. And from there.
What was the next yes?
No, well, from there it was traveling. So I thought I was going to move out to Florida, Tennessee. I had a couple opportunities. And a recruiter hit me up last minute from a friend in the liquor industry that didn't want to take the role.
Okay.
You should look at 8 Gardens. They're looking for a VP of sales and you'd be perfect. I'm like, absolutely. So, studied up, bought the manifesto, really immersed myself for a month or two before the interviews, and kind of 3 years later, and now we're here, and I'm really, really happy I stayed.
Support for Get Elevated with Gia is provided by Aether Gardens, located in Las Vegas with over 400 cannabis varieties and brands, including Aether, The 55, Betty's Eddies, and Church. More information is available at aethergardens.com. That's AETHER gardens.com.
That was a good story, though. But the theme is you were fearless. Right? Mm-hmm. It seems like you were just jumping into one thing okay, I trust this is the next right step. And I think part of living a life well lived is trusting those leaps. And it sounds like you were like, leap, okay, because those are not usual patterns. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. I don't want to say yes all the time, but it's one of those, you got to protect your yes.
Of course.
Because that's your time.
Oh,
but,
protect. That's a hashtag. Protect your yes.
No, a lot of people fall into that, just saying yes to everything, and then their time is never theirs.
Mm-hmm.
But in these instances, I knew it's what I wanted. I looked at the trajectory of alcohol, and it's the good old boys club at the top, a lot of that old regime, and to make your way up. I didn't see the future for me in there, and for here, the future's unwritten. I mean, so much opportunity.
So
we're in the first inning, and
gotta wear shades.
Yeah, I brought them in case.
I know. A lot of people like to wear shades in here. I don't know. Everybody thinks they're Kanye around here.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to drop an album.
I could care less.
He had a viewing party or listening party in Vegas, and I wanted to go. I mean, wouldn't that be cool?
Nah.
No, I'm not.
I mean, you know what? At the time, there was a time in my life, Davin, where I would have thought that's cool, and for some people, absolutely, but not for him. This is not my jam.
Who's your music of choice?
Like if I could meet Drake, I would. I really love his music. I love his lyrics. I mean, it's like that's the one station I can go to on Spotify and just hit like play, and I'm gonna love all of it.
He's got a roster of songs. I mean,
I could love all of it, and I could play it for probably a month straight and not hear the same song twice. I like a lot of different genres, though. My son is 21, right? You met him? No, a lot of people have met him in the community. So I'm always up to speed on like the latest like hip hop, R&B, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you like?
Everything.
People say that.
No, but truly everything. I used to play music growing up, so I can appreciate
another
all
skill.
aspects
What
of
type
life.
of music did you play?
I played trumpet my whole up until high school. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I played clarinet. We should have had a band.
Hey, right? I don't know if those are that cool anymore.
Not at all.
And
That's what makes them cool.
I know. I used to remember having to bring it on the bus, and
Me too.
I would bring it to baseball practice. The kids would be like, "What are you doing?"
You just get slugged with random pitches.
What the heck, man? I love playing instruments.
Yeah.
And we all love music, so I think we all need to encourage the arts just as people, and you're not poking fun at the flute. If a guy wants to play the flute, let him play the flute. You know
that kind of stuff. I think that was more prevalent like before the coronavirus, but like I feel like with the whole elevation of our consciousness, I don't want to get into that, but people are looking at things differently now. Like rather than judging, it's more like do your thing. If you want to play flute and bang a drum at the same time, like do it. Less judgment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel yourself doing that?
Sometimes.
Less judgment?
Less judgment. Just, full set. I mean, look, I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm at that age, and, music was just a piece of it. But, to your point, what you're asking me, what kind of music? I mean, like Majid Jordan, like
Who's
Masego.
That? I like that.
People that like, music that has more than just a synthetic.
I think Peter Kim was just telling me about this Masego.
Masego.
I don't know. I played a song. I was like, oh.
He plays a piano, the sax, the drums.
Get used to it.
He sings. So a true music like artist, Ryan Leslie, people that are just students of the game and
like that.
And kind of like just really support the industry.
Yeah, I think I like when they also support the industry. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what music I like and why I got. Oh, you know who I really, it's so trite, obviously. I love Pink.
Pink?
I love Pink.
You don't say. For those of you listeners that don't see Gia, she has got blonde, spiky hair like Pink.
It is not spiky. It is more like
flowy,
swirly.
Swirly.
I went through the spiky phase. It's just not my thing. So this is more flowy. But I do, actually, we have the exact same hair as her recent documentary. I've only listened to a couple of her songs here and there because some of them, they're just so pop. You get on board with it. And then I saw the documentary that she has out now about her album. And I watched it like 3 times because I really felt like I got her. And there's a piece of me that resonates with that, So I dig Pink.
Yeah.
But not all her music.
And I've heard some interviews. I appreciate what she did.
Yeah, she's a bad mama. And I feel like that resonates. This is what it is. She said in her interview. She said, I want everyone, not like exact quote for the, everyone that comes to pay a ticket to see me perform, I want them to feel 100% satisfied. And I want my family to feel 100% satisfied being on tour. And I kill myself to do both. I was like, I've been there as a single mom. Like I've been there when you just want everything to be perfect and you kill yourself, not literally, but yeah. So let's talk about you. Actually, you know what? You're going to be coming back for a second episode because there's too much awesomeness in Davin to share in this 30 minutes. So for between now and then, though, where can people find you? And if they want to refer friends and fans?
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at D_Homan, which is spelled HOMAN.
Okay, fantastic. And we're going to come back next week and talk about really the cannabis career. Now, we're going to talk more because a lot of people want to be in cannabis. So by highlighting different people that work in different capacities, it allows people to go, okay, that's an option, that's an option. And some of the grunt to get to this, because we all think like we just showed up and selling. It's so much more complicated than that, even now being in here. So we're going to talk more about that, some of your passions, your hobbies, things you love, things that no one would really know about you that you want to share. So prep for that, okay?
Sure. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we didn't get a nickname, did we? We didn't.
No, still Davin.
Still Davin. Okay. All right, that's going to be my homework to come up with something cool when we do our next show.
All right.
You don't mind, do you?
No, I mean...
I didn't offend you in any way, did I?
As long as it's creative.
Well, have you seen me? You think I'm going to put out some junk?
No.
I got you speechless, didn't I?
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't think so. I think it'll be good.
I don't know what to say. Okay. All right. Everyone, thank you for being here. I've loved Davin. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being willing to come back for part 2 of this lovely interview. And dear friends, as I always like to say, welcome to the future of cannabis. My name is Gia. I'll be your tour guide.
You have been listening to a paid program sponsored by Get Elevated. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you heard do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.